What's up everyone, my name is Mike and welcome back to my channel. I have 7 things today that I wish I knew before I started on VeVe. Let's get into this. The very first thing that I wish I knew was that you're not going to get every drop. Consider yourself lucky if you even get one drop. So it's important not to get discouraged. A lot of people are blaming bots on not being able to get drops, but I think it's very important to just not get discouraged. Try for every drop. Know that there's millions of users trying to get thousands of collectibles that are dropped at any given time, and you have a small percentage chance to be able to get that. So if you get a drop, be thankful, be grateful. But if you don't, that doesn't mean that you can't get the collectibles that you want. There's the aftermarket that you can go into and you can be able to purchase what you want there. There are ways that you can set yourself up for drops, and we talked about that in the previous episode. Simple things like setting an alarm before a drop, closing out all your apps, clearing up storage in your phone so it's not slowing down, being close to your router, and just making sure that your billing information is correct. All of these will set you up for success with drops. But after that, it really just comes down to luck of whether or not you're going to get it. I wish I knew that you had 90 seconds to make that purchase. We talked about in the other video that my wife actually didn't have an up-to-date credit card on the billing information, and we missed out on a drop that we actually got. So make sure that your billing information is there. You can add multiple credit cards, so if one is expired, it'll just go to the next one, or just add your PayPal so it doesn't expire. Which brings me to my next point, and that is FOMO, or fear of missing out. Just because it's a collectible that you really like doesn't mean that you need to overpay for it. Do not be afraid to miss out on purchasing that collectible. Set a price prediction, set a price point that you're willing to purchase that collectible for. And don't be afraid if you see that skyrocketing, because it'll likely come down and then go back up. So don't get carried away in the hype and the aftermarket. Having a price point or having a price prediction really allows you to take out that emotion in the purchase. And how do you set that price prediction? You can look at previous collectibles of similar drops and seeing where that collectible now stands today and how long it took to get there. And we'll cover this in another video for sure. But eliminate that emotion, that fear of missing out. You do not want to be fearful, and you do not want to make a fearful purchase. I've done a couple of these. These collectibles are now sitting lower than what I purchased them for, and it was just that fear of missing out on something that I thought was going to go skyrocketing. Now, we're still likely early on VeVe, so those prices will still likely go up, but I could have got them at a lower price and seen that return on investment be a little bit higher than it will be. Just be calm, stick to your game plan, and move forward. And that brings me to my next point, is setting a game plan. Setting a game plan so that you do not make a purchase that you regret. And this goes for as soon as that market opens, 30 minutes after a drop, or setting a plan with a collectible that you've seen drop over time. Be mindful of certain catalysts that'll cause collectibles to rise in price. Things like movies coming out, TV shows that have just been announced, or anything that can cause that price to rise. We're seeing many users come in to VeVe every single day. Millions of gems purchased throughout a month. We're seeing an influx of all of this, so we're likely going to see demand for collectibles and prices for collectibles rise. But we're also seeing lots of collectibles coming into VeVe. So there's a balance there between supply and demand and what people are willing to pay for. So even though we might likely see run-ups on a lot of collectibles in the app, nobody can quite predict exactly what those price points are going to be. But you can make estimated guesses on that and stick to that plan before making a purchase. Timing up a purchase before a movie comes out is a likely game plan that you can set. This is not advice, but this is what I do in terms of seeing a demand coming for a character because a movie that they're going to be in, and hoping that that is going to cause a demand for that character in the VeVe app. Which comes to my next point, and that is the gem squeeze. I wish I knew about the gem squeeze beforehand. And this is essentially where when a big drop is coming, people are selling off their collectibles, which is causing the price to go down, causing the supply to go up, and the demand to stay flat or even downturn. All of this leads to that price going down. And as that big drop comes, you might want to have gems available for that drop, or to even get that drop in the aftermarket. But it's also a good time to plan strategic purchases with this gem squeeze as prices are going down for collectibles. So bookmark collectibles, add them to your wish list, watch their prices, and time it just right to get that collectible at the right time, at the right price that you are willing to pay for it, in anticipation of that collectible's price then rising after this gem squeeze. Now, with more and more collectibles coming available on VeVe and more drops coming, and these drops being even bigger and more characters characters are going to be coming into the VeVe app that people are excited for. We're going to see more gem squeezes, and perhaps those prices are going to be consistent. But just knowing that prices will drop and it's not a good time to really sell your collectible during that gem squeeze at a lower price than you would normally get afterwards is just good information that I wish I knew from the start. I wish I knew edition terms, FA, FE, CE, what these meant and what these meant to the prices of these collectibles. So FA is that first appearance of that character as an NFT digital collectible. And that's going to be important if that character is then licensed to another company and we see other appearances of that character. You have that first appearance of that character as an NFT digital collectible here on the VeVe app. This is something that you will want to collect. First appearance is going to be in demand as VeVe grows and as this character sees more iterations of it on VeVe. Having that first appearance tag is just going to stand out above all the rest on VeVe. FE is first edition, so there's going to be characters that appear multiple times on the app. But these could be in different series. For example, the Marvel Mighties characters have many different editions or series of Marvel Mighties. So we're going to see multiple first editions of characters, but they might not be the first appearance of that character on the app. For example, the Spider-Man Marvel Mighty, we've seen Spider-Man already on the app as a first appearance NFT digital collectible, but the Spider-Man Marvel Mighty is the first edition of that Spider-Man as a Marvel Mighty character. And finally, CE is the con exclusive. These are purchased at con events like Comic-Con. And the next thing I wish I knew was that edition numbers, the lower it is, the more valuable it is and the more it'll get in the aftermarket. Now, this doesn't quite apply to me just yet. I don't have the amount of gems to be able to make a purchase of a collectible that has a low edition number. But it's just a good thing to know. If you get a drop, then if you have a low edition number in the hundreds, it's likely more valuable. And if you post it to sell, you're going to get more gems for that compared to where the floor price is for the collectible. And for me, that's why it's a good thing to know at this moment in time. However, with that comes a smaller market to be able to demand that price for. So if you're choosing to sell a collectible that has a low edition number, you might want to list it a long time before you actually want to get rid of it to get those gems in, especially if you have a plan for those gems specifically to purchase something coming up. And lastly, rarities. Rarities range from common, uncommon, rare, ultra rare, and secret rare. Now, obviously, common is the most common, secret rare is the most rare. And it would make sense that the secret rare might be the most sought after and the most expensive in the aftermarket of purchasing these collectibles. And that's typically the case. When you get into other collectibles from common, uncommon, rare, or even sometimes ultra rare, these are going to range in prices. We see many times that VeVe releases common characters that are really popular in a series, whereas the secret rare characters are not as popular as the common characters. And that varies from common to secret rare. So the rare character might not be as popular as the common character. So the common character might actually come with more demand, causing that price of that common character to be more than that price of the rare character, even though that rare edition has less editions available on the app. And I think it's smart that VeVe does that the common characters are the most popular because more are going to be sold for a higher price on the market, and that brings in more fees for licensors and for VeVe, as opposed to having a less popular as the common and the price not being as much and bringing in less percentages. Whereas if you make the secret rare or the ultra rare that less popular character, that price is still going to be high because they are ultra rares and secret rares and still bring in a good percentage. We saw that with the Marvel Mighty drop of Spider-Man. Spider-Man is obviously the most popular character in that line. So it makes sense that he is the common character, whereas the secret rare is not a widely known character, and therefore make it the secret rare because it's going to be the lack of editions that brings that price up on that character. So rarities do not always correlate with costs, and that should be factored in to when you're purchasing in that aftermarket, because you can't quite control what drop you're going to get, and especially in a blind box, which character you're going to get. And just as a quick extra, one last thing that I learned that I wish I knew from the very start with VeVe is that you can't quite yet pull out your gems for any fiat or cryptocurrency coin. When I initially started, I put in 120 or 180 gems. I did that without the knowledge that you can't actually pull out any gems tokens or fiat currency. And I wish I just knew that from the very beginning, but ultimately it doesn't change what exactly I've done on the platform and what I continue to do with the platform, but it's just something good that you should know before you get started with VeVe. Now they have announced and they have been talking about that functionality coming. It's not here yet, but we can look forward to that in the future. I hope this information was helpful to you. Let me know your comments in the comment section below. What did you wish you knew from the very start when you started on the VeVe platform? Comment section, please like this video if you liked this video and you thought anything in this was valuable, and subscribe if you want more from this channel. Thank you so much for watching.